I'm Tracy with your weekly channeled oracle reading for May 4th through 10th, 2015. It is the upcoming week that includes Mother's Day, guys and gals. So get out there and, you don't have to buy something for your mom. You could do something for your mom. And at least calling her and saying hello. And if you're not in the same vicinity of her, or if she is no longer here on earth but has passed on back home to God, then certainly take a moment and think of her. And if you have strained relations with your mom, then again, you could just say a prayer and take a moment to think of her, that she did bring you into this world. For indeed, none of us could be born without mom, without mothers, the life givers, women. That, of course, leading us to Mother Mary, when you think about it, right? She gave us Jesus, and so she's a mom as well, so you may think of her as well if that's something you want to. And if you don't have a good relationship with your mom, you can also think of someone who very much, was a surrogate mom for you. So that's Mother's Day on Sunday. So before I go get Whitehawk and consciously channel him for this upcoming week, let's take a moment and touch back on last week. And last week, Whitehawk said it would be a week that we would be getting up and that we would be getting much done. And I certainly know from my standpoint, I was feeling much, much better. And so indeed that correlates to the getting up for sure. And getting much done too. I did have a lot of accomplishments. You have little things that you need to get done, and I did get those things done. And I did even get some spring cleaning done. And in fact, one of my Facebook posts was about cleaning chandeliers. I love chandeliers, and my whole house would be filled with them. It really would. But I would have to have a housekeeper or someone else that would have to clean them, because I'm not a fan of cleaning them, but I love them. And they can get dull very fast, right? So I took some time out to clean some of my chandeliers. I think I had 3, and I have a 4th one that has to go up, but it hasn't gone up yet. So I had to clean all 3 of those chandeliers. Oh, the fun of it. So that was my week. I did find that the week did go very slow. How did it go for you? I know when I spoke to my son's like, no, the week went by fast for me, Mom. And I'm like, no, it was slow for me for some reason. Slow, but fruitful and profitable. Okay, so let's go get Whitehawk and see what he has to say for this upcoming week of May 4th through 10th. Indeed, little ones. He begins. Take a moment, he says, and I just want you to dig those feet into the ground. And the visual I'm getting is feet in sand, at a beach. And they're just digging those feet really, really into the sand, And then, so the visual is me. And then I see me, taking some deep breaths and pushing those shoulders back as you would do in your yoga, which is mountain pose, I believe. And so I see myself on the beach doing this. I just have capris on and I have a coat on, so that would probably mean it's a little cool out. And I'm just taking in the air. I'm taking in the fresh air, and I'm just standing there, grounding myself with the earth, and I'm breathing the air around me. And in doing so, it's just everything's pushing back and grounding down, and my head is kind of up, and it should be centered, but maybe that's just taking the breath in. And my eyes are closed, just as I am as I'm channeling. And I'm just breathing in and it go. And then I'm breathing in. And as I let go, I feel my feet ground deeper into the earth, deeper into the sand, deeper into whatever you are grounding into, whether it be grass, whatever, the forest, whatever. You're just going to ground. You're going to push the breath out and feel yourself lengthen. And feel yourself, your feet just go deeper into the earth. And so I stand there and I do that for many, many breaths. It could even be 20 minutes worth that I just stand there, and this is what I do. And in doing so, that is also the result. It brings you down from being on such a high and going dizzy around in life, and it just connects you back to yourself. And so yawns are good. They're a great release. You know you're starting to ground. And let it go. Excuse me. And so I do this for a very long time. And then in the visual I go to warrior pose. So anyone who's knows yoga pose is a warrior pose is where one arm, I can't even show you the way I'm sitting, one arm is out in front and the other one's in the back, but I can't get it back there, and your legs, the one knee's at a 90 degree and the other leg's back straight, and I'm doing that. And so I guess henceforth I'm doing yoga. And it's feeling really, really good to get down, and I see plank pose and up dog and then down dog, and so this goes on, and I do the various poses until finally I'm laying in samasthiti. I can't even say that right, samasthiti, which is corpse's pose, where you're just lying on the ground fully. And finally Whitehawk returns and says, "Indeed, little ones, for many of you, this would be a good week to take up, some form of a class for rest and relaxation, children, simply because many of you are getting too wound up in your lives. Many of you are not allowing yourselves the proper time to come down, to rest, to have respite. And what you're going to find is that when you allow yourself to get so wound up, and when he says that, I feel so tense, but not only do I feel that real tense that comes to the shoulders and necks and just shortens that whole area, I get this metal taste in my mouth as he says that. And he says, yes, this will perhaps be a symptom many of you will feel when you tense and everything shortens, he says. And so for many of you, you are so go right now that you are forgetting to take the time you need to refill, to refuel your tanks, to recharge your batteries. And what you're going to find happens, children, if you don't refill those tanks, is you will become stressed out, more and more stressed out. And some of those symptoms that you will feel are ones that we've talked about here, the neck and shoulder shortening, the metal, but also you're going to feel that and behind your back, you're going to feel your adrenals start to ache. And it's going to feel like a backache. It's going to feel painful. It's going to feel like the inside of that area at your back flank is stretching, is ripping out of you, perhaps is one way as it will come. And it is simply a way that your body is coming to tell you it needs to refresh. It needs rest. It needs respite. And if you do not listen to it, it will get worse and worse and worse. And he says, and when you think, if you are constantly in overdrive and are not refueling, then you will be ripping the insides of your adrenals, is the way he's putting it. You'll be ripping the insides, and by doing so, there is a hormone that is being released, that is constantly being released into your system. And he says, and it is partly what is creating that metal taste in your mouth. And is a great indicator for you. It's time to take it back and rest. Lots of water and rest, because you have gone too long without charging your battery. And so this week I am asking you to be aware of body signals that start to arise, that perhaps are already even there. To listen to those body signals and then to recede into the quiet and start to take care of yourself better and allow yourself to refuel and to recharge. Now, many of us are unable to do it on our own. He says, but the good news is that in this day and age, there are many ways in which you can help yourself. You may reach out and find a course that you may take, perhaps on meditation. He says there is yoga, he says, and there are all kinds of alternative things that you can do, perhaps even take a walk in nature. He says join a nature club, and just to get yourself back into nature and to refuel by grounding with the earth, he says, and staying there, not just walking through in 20 minutes to say, okay, that's my 20 minutes and I've just walked through nature and, you know, that's good enough. Now I'll move on to getting my groceries and spring cleaning and la 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 and children and la la la. He says, no, you really need to go there and make the effort to connect, knowing that this is what your intention is, to come here to connect with the earth, to refuel. And he says, and oftentimes the best time is to go with yourself. He says, just alone, and find a very tranquil, quiet spot and just sit there. You don't even have to stand. Just sit there. And as long as your feet are connecting with the earth and the attention you put forth is to refuel or to connect with the earth and ground, then so much good will come from it. He says, but I feel so many of you. He says, your adrenals. He says, I feel the pain on your flanks. I feel the ripping inside. And it's not literally that they are ripping. He says it is literally just that they are flat. They are empty, he says. And so you need to fill those adrenals back up. And so he says, I would ask for you to take care of yourself this week and to really listen to your body's wisdom, to your body's symptoms, for that is a way in which your body speaks to you. And learn the symptoms of when you are in overdrive and you have gone too far and need to haul it back. So a big week for taking care of yourself, children. Recharge, refuel, and refresh. God bless, children. I have faith in you that you will be able to do this, to take care of yourself. God bless. Thank you, Whitehawk. Thank you. It was so nice when he had me doing it at the beginning there, and I'm going to yawn again because, sorry, because it was just so relaxing, you know, when he had me. And you have to understand, when I channel, like, if it's there, I'm going to feel it. Like, I'm going to get, the great thing is I get the benefits of it too, right? So even though I didn't have my feet physically on the ground, in the spiritual, which is probably where sports psychology and all that comes in, right? Same thing. You're kind of channeling it. So when he shows me that, I get the benefits of actually feeling what he was doing. So it felt so good to be standing there with my feet in the sand and just connecting, and there was nothing else that I had to worry about, people around me, nothing. I was just connecting with Mother Earth, and it felt so, so good. And I too need to get out into nature. I've been lacking in that as well, so it's a good reminder for me. So I hope you get out there and you connect with nature. It's a great way to ground. Or find a yoga course, or even Pilates, you know, can be pretty relaxing as well, as long as the beginner Pilates, because otherwise it can move pretty fast. You know, for use, because the breath can be very cleansing and connecting as well through Pilates. So meditation, yoga, like he says, you know, Pilates, nature, breathing techniques. There's all kinds of stuff. Go out there and explore and try something, and you never know what it's going to lead you to. And if that's not your cup of tea, you know, taking courses, then get out into nature and literally ground. You'll find some quiet spot where it's secluded and no one will see you and think you're crazy. Don't worry, I know all about that too. I go, okay, is anyone going to see me? Think I'm crazy? You know? Anyways, so take time for yourself this week, and take time maybe for Mom this week as well. Hey, go out in nature and ground with Mom. That could be an interesting Mother's Day, couldn't it? Give her the gift of self-care. All right, so we'll see you on Thursday next week for our weekly Channeled Oracle reading. One thing I wanted to mention is that, so I didn't do any seasonal readings lately, but that's okay. Go into the archives and pull out the spring reading from last year. And last year there's some really good tips in there, and it wasn't necessarily about just that season. It's about the spring season always, and how it means rebirth and planting seeds, not only in your garden literally, but literally in your own life, you know, what you want to bring to fruition come the fall when you reap your harvest. So go into those and listen to that, because there's so much good information there, and perhaps I'll post it up here somewhere and down in the description box. And my Facebook and Twitter links are always in the description box. My link to my website is always in the description box as well. So if I can provide you with a personal reading from Whitehawk, please use the link and then just email me, and bada bing, bada bang, we'll be there. All right, wishing all the moms out there happy Mother's Day, and we'll see you next week. God bless. What did I do there? God bless. I'm Tracy.